The word, YouTube? You know what it is. It's your boy Big Will. Life after prison. Let's run it. What's the word, fam? It's your boy Big Will back. Another episode of Life After Prison. This episode, we're going to be talking about a CO who is just a loudmouth, right, all the time. And I've been asked by people, do COs ever really go head to head with you? You know, did they ever give you a fair one? And there's a lot of COs, first off, that are like bitches, you know what I'm saying? Like they pop off all the time and chop. Hey, yeah, I'll bust your shit. You know, everything. You know, you call a CO on, you call him a bitch, you tell him his wife's a fucking stinky, whatever. You know, and they stand outside the cage. You know, they stand outside your cell, and yeah, I know you're a tough guy, and they'll make your night hard for you, you know, but very rarely do you ever get a CO that's going to go head to head with you. For one, the thing is like in this instance, when you beat their ass, you know, they can't justify it, you know what I'm saying? So when they show up with we'll go into this situation. Officer's name was Lieutenant Sylvia. He was a little musclehead, you know what I'm saying? He was alright with me. I could say that. I was a worker. You know, I didn't have a lot of trouble with COs, you know what I'm saying? Because I respect everybody, you know what I'm saying? I turn to a different person when I get disrespected. You know what I mean? That's the type of person I am. I don't give a fuck what you got going on in your life. I don't, you know, unless you're, you know, if you're not a ripper, if you're not a pedophile, if you're not a cell thief, if you're not gay and hitting on me, you know, I don't care. I don't care what you're there for. I really don't care. You know, unless you're a baby murderer, or you beat your kids, something like that. You know what I mean? You know, if you got violent crimes against children, or you know, but if you're there on a domestic, you slap your wife around, that's not my business. You steal somebody's car, it's not my business. You know what I mean? If you held up your neighbor, I don't care. I don't care what you do. You give me respect, you get it back. Now, if you're a Mighty Mouse type of figure, convicted pedophile, well then you get no love. You know, you get smacked around. You know, that's how it used to be in prison, anyways. You used to be able to smack them dudes around, rats and rippers and stuff. Now, because it's happened, it would happen so frequently, and they had no place to live and stuff. You know, they had to give these guys some kind of rights. And the thing is this: if you hit them, or you know, you terrorize them, it goes into a hate crime, and there's a whole bunch of shit. You know, it's you end up with more charges than you started out with, and it's just you're trying to help your community, so to speak. You know, like anybody who rapes a kid or is a pedophile should be castrated. That's my opinion. Okay, your shit should be chopped off. That's my opinion. Other people have other opinions. People have opinions like they say with Mighty Mouse. Oh, he did his time, leave him alone. Nah, listen. He has the mentality to reoffend, and 9 out of 10 of them do reoffend. You know, and it'll happen. You know, so they get no love, and they should be treated as such. They get no respect. They get no nothing. That's my personal opinion. Other people have different opinions. But with that being said, COs don't often give you, if you're a CO, I give you respect. You're there doing your job. You didn't put me in prison. I did it myself. So there's no need for me to make your life miserable. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in there and you're doing your job. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they're high-paid babysitters who are there to watch grown men live their life for committing crime on the outside. That's all. A lot of them have been picked on. They got no heart, no courage. So to get back at society, they get a badge and they wanna try and punk out dudes who are behind a cell door. Wrong thing to do, because we're still men. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of dudes that are doing life. So you go to punking out a dude that's doing life, you're gonna get dealt with. That was the CO, Sylvia was his name, or Silva. I believe it was Silva. He was a lieutenant. He was a short guy, probably 5'9", 5'10", but he was stocky. You know what I'm saying? Worked out all the time. You could tell. If you respected him, he respected you. If you was the type to sit behind the door and call him out, he go right back. Go back to talking shit with you. But a lot of these COs will. They'll tell you, yeah, I banged your girl last night, shit like that. They'll say shit to you to rile inmates up, because they know that they're gonna get the last. They're gonna get the last laugh. They're gonna give you a DR. They're gonna throw you in a hole. It's just gonna fuck your bid up. You know what I'm saying? They can make your bid hell. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I don't give them no time, no play. You know what I'm saying? Again, I have, for the simple fact that they have come in. I've had COs come in, and I carry myself with confidence. I carry myself with a certain level of respect me. Just because I'm an inmate, respect me. You know what I'm saying? And some COs believe that you're below them because you're an inmate and they're a CO. Not the case. So I carry myself with confidence, and if I think a CO is a cocky cocksucker, I'll look at him, with that in mind. You think you're a punk just because you got a badge, you're a punk. You know what I'm saying? So, but this CO specifically, he was the type, like I said, who would go back to you. Well, he came upon a kid who had life, and he went back and forth with the kid, and he was doing around with another one of his partners, we'll call it, and he started arguing with this kid. We called him Treetop. He was a tall kid, probably right around 7 feet. The kid was, 6'11" and a half, almost 7 feet. But he was a tall kid, lanky kid. But he was ripped like a greyhound. You know what I'm saying? And he was calling this kid out. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this kid, he didn't, just because he was in there for murder, don't mean that he was a bad kid. You don't know what situation will happen. You know what I'm saying? Some people take someone's life on accident. Some people take someone's life in self-defense. You gotta fully understand someone's whole case to know, what type of person they are. If they're a shitbag, if it's an accidental thing, whatever the case may be, right? This kid was real quiet, okay, and he was getting ready to get shipped out to another prison, and he knew he was leaving the next day, so he he was getting a little rambunctious, you know what I'm saying? He was yelling out of his cell, and he was telling certain inmates, yo, you know, you're lucky I'm leaving, blah blah blah, a whole bunch of shit, you know what I'm saying? So the jail was getting a little the unit was getting a little loud, I'll say, you know what I'm saying? People going back and forth and blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying? So the CO came, went on a tier, went to the kid's cell and told him, yo, pipe down. You know what I'm saying? You're leaving and shit, relax. And the kid was like, nah, dude, listen, get away from my cell. You know what I'm saying? The CO was like, listen, I'll come in there. I'll come in that cell. I'm not the one. You know what I'm saying? And this kid was like, listen, I'm telling you now, if you crack that door, it's going to be a bad situation for you. Well, the CO was, you know, like I said, he was the type, he was ripped. You know, he was big, he was built, you know what I'm saying? He thought differently. So he did. He cracked the kid's cell. And, you know, I went back and forth for a little while. And the kid, you know, kid sat on his bunk. He didn't get up to the cell and go jawing back with the CO. He just told him, listen, I'm not the one. Come in here and I'm putting you to sleep. CO, oh, you're a punk, da da da. And I'm not the one, da da da. Oh, he was a lieutenant. Yeah, I mean, crack the cell. He was on 2 Alley. If any of you have been in that street, you know 2 Alley. It was a lockup alley, right? Opened up the kid's cell. Took one step in, and the way that the jail got shut down, because when he stepped in, they can see on Central the way he just folded back out and hit the tier. Oh, it's funny as hell. I was a worker. I was out all the time. I was a tier runner, right? I worked in laundry, so I had full access to my section of the prison. You know what I mean? I was able to be out of my cell at all times. I was able to run the tiers and shit, you know, and see different inmates, you know, dudes that weren't sentenced yet, you know what I'm saying? I was a houseman, so I had a lot of free range. So there was a few of us housemen, and from where my plant was, we can see, at the end of our tier, we can see down on 2 Alley, and we seen what happened. We knew what was happening, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, everybody, you know, this dude was yelling out to other inmates because he was leaving. So when to see the CO walk in, he took a step in, and he hit he fell back out. Oh, it was funny as hell. He slept him. First of all, what Lieutenant Silva didn't realize was the kid was a brown belt in judo. So when he stepped in, he thought he was going fist to fist, and that's why I said you never know who somebody is, you know what I'm saying? When people get to jail, a lot of them talk like they're Captain America, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of them don't talk at all that can't fight like Captain America, or, you know, they're about that life. They will stab you and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But oddly enough, the kid didn't get any more time. He didn't get in trouble, okay? Because it was so loud and it was documented, you know, it was shown. There was other inmates there that went to bat for him, that the CO come to the tier and was threatening him, you know what I'm saying, to beat his ass and shit like that. When you're a CO, you're not supposed to enter nobody's cell, okay? If you do, you go with a team, you go with a camera. You don't do it unless there's an emergency, you know what I'm saying? But like you're not supposed to step off camera and enter anybody's cell for protection for yourself, protection for the inmate. You know, there's, you know, the camera's at the end of the tier, and it just looks down the whole tier. You know, it doesn't go in individual cells, you know what I'm saying? So because he entered the kid's cell without calling a code, without, you know, any reason that he gave, he eventually got demoted. He was on leave for about 6 weeks because the kid wired his jaw, blackened his eye, put him to sleep. When he stepped into the kid's cell, the kid jumped off his bed and gave him a roundhouse kick. That just broke the guy's shit, you know, and it was funny as hell. Oh, funny as hell. You know, so for them to call lockdown, they're locking the jail down, and it's usually because there's 2 inmates going, you know, fighting or something, you know, to that effect. And for it to see a CO getting carried out, you know what I'm saying? People on like 3 alley or 4 alley, they couldn't see what was going on, you know what I'm saying? But you know, when people are yelling, yo, Treetop, put him to sleep, you know, like you know, word travels in jail, right? And everybody can hear when you're talking shit. Like, oh shit, he, you know, fucked him up. You know, you hear the inmates go to the chair, yeah, because like I said, Silva was the type where he would fuck with certain inmates, you know what I'm saying? Gang members, things like that. He'd walk by himself and look at him, you know, like, oh, you think you're a tough guy because you're a gang member, you know, shit like that, you know what I'm saying? He would antagonize some people, you know what I'm saying? But he was a cocky bastard. He was the type that, you know, he would go, you know, if he was on the street or, you know, something like that. He's the type that seems like he would go, you know, he would go with you, you know what I'm saying? He'd go toe to toe with you, you know what I'm saying? Now, again, he might have just looked like that because he was a bodybuilder and shit, you know what I'm saying? But apparently all that shit didn't work too well for him, you know? So it's just a lesson for you. Listen. If you ever find yourself locked up and the CO enters your cell, put him to sleep. He's not supposed to do it, okay? Unless he's calling a code, unless he's calling for a certain reason to be entering your cell, unless it's you know, they're going in the morning and they're doing cell searches or, you know, shit like that. The CO's just in there and you're in your cell on, you know. And, you know, he's not just supposed to enter your cell alone, you know. That's how females get, you know, they get fired. They step into a male cell and, you know, what's she doing in there, you know, and, you know, she'll come out unharmed after being in there a half hour, you know what I mean? A lot of them get their freak on with some inmates, and, you know, once they step off camera, you know, when a CO enters someone's cell, if he's in there for more than 3 minutes and they notice it on camera, they will call, you know, like, they'll call him on the radio. You know, if there's no response or whatever, they'll send, you know, so-and-so want to check on, whatever, cell 32, you know, so-and-so stepped in, you know, it's shit like that, you know what I mean? But, to see this, you know, usually they tell the desk, you know, pop cell so-and-so, but they also have a key, you know what I'm saying, for emergencies. If someone's hanging themselves or shit like that, they have the key to open up the door right away, you know what I mean? But, so for him to enter the kid's cell, he was going to go in and give the kid a fair one. The kid wasn't waiting, you know what I'm saying? He put the CO to sleep. They came in, they pulled the CO out, you know, they put the kid. He was already on lockup alley, so they put him down in one alley, which was, it's like, all right, so 1 alley, 2 alley, 3 alley, 4 alley. 2 alley was a lockup alley, right, for people who are, you know, they get brought from their cell. But this particular prison was all for, like, what do you call it, like people who are waiting to get sentenced, right? And if you was already sentenced, you would go there as a worker. So if they were in their cell and they got caught with a stinger, or, you know, if they got into a fight, you would only go from one tier over to another tier, you know, which is, you know, it's not like a hole. It's not like it was max, you know what I'm saying? At this point, it wasn't max. It was you want to call a minimum at that point, not minimum but medium. Okay, so they wouldn't really go to a hole. They would go to the hole for the fact that when they would get locked up from their cell or whatever, the COs would take their shit, like their radio, things like that, you can't get it. But the way that the cells are going, all you need is a tier runner to come by and hand you a radio. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that simple. It's not like it's a hole. And but so they ended up putting it from 2 alley over to 1 alley, which is really away from everybody. That's the part of the jail where if you come in on a weekend lockup, that's where you go. You know what I'm saying? So he put him down there, and you know, they had other inmates that came to bat for him who said the CO was outside his cell threatening him, you know, telling him that he was gonna fuck him up because he was leaving. So when he hit, the kid just protected himself. It was self-defense. So he ended up beating the rap and didn't end up getting any charges. The CO ended up taking repercussions as well as getting put out on medical leave. But it's for all you COs out there. Unless you're about that life and you can really do damage to an inmate, and if you're gonna give him a fair one, don't enter somebody's cell and talk that shit, because there are inmates that will pop off on you, especially if they're doing life and they ain't got nothing else to lose. You know what I'm saying? They'll get you, you know. But as always, if you don't cause that crime, you stay out of trouble, you do the right thing, you stay positive, you won't be in them situations. You won't have to deal with them COs that try to belittle you, you know. As always, appreciate all you sitting here. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. I appreciate you all. Welcome all new subscribers I've been getting. Appreciate you. The ones that have been here from the beginning, appreciate you. I really do. Yeah, let's keep this team running. I'll see you on the next one. Big Will. Life after prison. Peace.